Hey everyone, welcome back to another stream. Today we're going to be playing a variety of Sega Saturn games. It's been a little while since I've done a Saturn stream. It's one of my favorite consoles of all time. I had one back in the day. I've covered it a lot on this channel. But I've been bouncing around to some other weird things like the Lynx and the Game Gear and the Master System and whatnot lately. And so yeah, the Saturn has been a little neglected. So I decided to fire it up today. Ran into a couple of problems, so there are a couple of caveats with this stream. For one, we're actually streaming with composite video today. I never record or stream with composite unless I absolutely have to. And my RGB cable basically just bit the dust. And I somehow misplaced my S-video cable. And so all I had left was my composite cable, and so that's what we're using right now. So the video quality is not going to look nearly as good as it usually does. RGB from the Saturn looks fantastic. Composite, on the other hand, not the most amazing thing. I mean, composite never is, but it is what it is. Once we're into gameplay and stuff like that, I don't think it's going to be too big of a deal. I think it'll look fine for the stream, but yeah, just be warned, no crispy RGB. Like we normally have here. So, kind of bummed about that. However, today we're also doing something a little bit different. I actually went out and picked up a Retro Fighters BrawlerGEN controller, which is this guy right here. It's a dual-purpose Sega Saturn and Sega Genesis controller. It's got an analog stick. I don't know if it actually works with the analog stick games on the Saturn. The instruction manual mentions nothing of it as far as enabling the analog functionality. On a Saturn 3D control pad, you had to enable the analog stick functionality. There was a switch on like the front of the controller. This doesn't have that. Now it's got a mode button. The mode button might act as the switch. I don't know. The manual makes no mention of it. But we're going to try this sucker out for the first time. And we're going to just kind of see how it is live on the spot. So I'll be playing a wide variety of games. I'll be giving my thoughts on this controller specifically. We are not going to be playing Sega Genesis today, but this does work on the Sega Genesis and Mega Drive. It's got the, the Genesis plug. It's also got a separate Saturn plug, which is what we're using right now. It's honestly, first impressions, it's not the most ergonomic thing. I mean, the face buttons and D-pad, I guess they feel okay. But the shoulder keys, like, normally my fingers sit like this with shoulder keys. That's natural. But I had to force my fingers up, which actually kind of hurts them. So, already off to a bad start with this thing. Also, it definitely feels cheap. It's not an expensive controller. It's like $28. Which, for a dual-purpose controller, you could think of it as, split the cost in half. You're paying like $13 for each platform. But it's not the shell actually feels okay. The analog stick actually has like a nice ridge around it, kind of like on the Xbox One controllers. But the face buttons feel cheap, and you have to push them down really far compared to an actual Sega Saturn controller. So, those things I've noticed right off the bat don't feel amazing. But, I mean, maybe it'll be fine. Maybe it'll be like a good, sort of budget-friendly controller that works on multiple platforms. So, we shall see. But, yeah, that's the other twist for this stream tonight. So I'm not really going to be taking recommendations. I am going to be bouncing around from random game to random game. We're going to be running off our satiator as well. So I'll be going through my list of games here and trying to figure out and see what works well with this thing, if this thing even works well at all. Thankfully, it's got a floating D-pad, unlike their Nintendo 64 and Dreamcast D-pad designs. So I'm actually looking forward to see how accurate this is. Retro Fighters traditionally does not have very accurate D-pads, which is really terrible, but it is what it is. We'll see if this is different, because this is definitely a different design, so it'll be interesting. But yeah, let's try to play some Sega Rally. But yeah, this is Sega Rally has a sound test menu, and so that's what we're doing right now. And actually, let me get my camera situated, because normally I have it on the kiddies, so let me do that real quick. Alright, camera's back and situated on the kitties. Kitties are actually eating right now. I actually wasn't going to feed them till later, but man, they just would not, they were just going crazy. They're going crazy. So, let me get my patchy paws gonna have to come up with a new pause screen theme or label, because we no longer have just Patchy. It's Milo and Patchy now. So it might be like the Patchy Milo pause is what I'll call it. But all right. Let's jump into some Sega Rally. It's one of my favorite Sega Saturn games. And let's see how this controller does. Ben says that looks like an OG Genesis D-pad. No, it actually looks more like an OG Saturn D-pad. The OG Genesis D-pad was much more recessed and a little bit larger. Or at least it felt like it was a little bit larger. Some of the OG Genesis controllers, especially the 6 buttons, did have some floating D-pads like that, which was carried over to the Saturn design. And there were even some late 3-button controllers that had the same kind of floating D-pad concept. There were a lot of revisions of the Genesis controller, but this the D-pad on this controller, it's most like the Model 2 Saturn controller, which is kind of like the gold standard for D-pads, if you ask me. Now, I don't know what it's like on the inside. I don't know how it's, set up compared to an actual Saturn D-pad. For all we know, it could be a piece of garbage and it could break on me in 5 minutes, but we shall see. So it looks like it's letting me use the analog stick. I have a nasty suspicion that the analog stick is just replicating the D-pad and it's not going to actually support the analog functionality. Now this is Sega Rally Plus, the Japanese version. I believe Sega Rally Plus has 3D control pad support. I don't know if it's going to actually work like that. We'll try it. See if the analog stick actually works like an analog stick. Well, hey, Blue Wolf, welcome back. Mario, Freddy, Gotcham. We have Chaz, we have Greg, we have Zanctum. And my merch thing is blocking everybody else's chat, so... Alright. Oh, God, yeah, it's replicating the D-pad. Oh, no. Oh, jeez. Alright, I'm using the D-pad for this. Oh, man. Alright, what is my... Alright, let's go ahead and just restart. Thankfully in Sega Rally you can actually do that. I just had to refamiliarize myself with the controls. So it's A is brake, B is go, or gas.
3, 2, 1.
Yeah, Blue Wolf, it's Sega Saturn's got a lot of awesome games, especially arcade-style games. If you like arcade-style gaming, the Sega Saturn is a must-have. I mean, even if you don't like arcade-style gaming, there's a lot of non-arcade-style games as well. Although, a lot of the, a lot of them are not English-friendly, unfortunately, because the Saturn didn't really do too well in Western regions. So a lot of its RPGs and things like that are Japanese exclusive. But we did get some, in here in the United States, we did get, a good selection of those at least. There's not a ton of them, but it's not like the PlayStation, but there is enough there to warrant a Sega Saturn in your collection. Even if you don't like arcade-style games. So far, I mean, the D-pad feels fine, but Sega Rally is a game where you're only tapping left or right. So this is not a good test. I just wanted to play something that was fun, and I also wanted to see if it worked with the analog stick. You wish you could play the OG Sega Rally. Which one, like the arcade version?
3,
I want to play the arcade version.
1, go.
Alright, so track 2. For anybody that's not played Sega Rally, it's a very, very short racing game. You only have 3 courses normally, 4 if you manage to get first place on the last course. And then you get taken to a 4th course. That's pretty tough. But it's really, really challenging. You're not going to beat this on your first try. Hell, you're probably not going to beat it on your 100th try. It's really challenging. You've got to race flawlessly. It's also got a, a distinct drift system. So you do have to drift around corners. But it's really fun. Especially when you get the hang of the course layouts and the drifting and all that stuff. Usually for me, I have to play several rounds before I'm really warmed up. Before I can even have any sort of hopes of getting to the final course. But it's the kind of game where, like, it's a very good pick up and play kind of game. You know, a full run only lasts like 5 minutes, so you can do several runs back to back, and you don't ever feel like, you know, you're taking up half your day trying to practice this thing. Alright, track 3. Let's see what happens here. I think I normally want to be in a higher position when I get here, like 5th or 6th, if I want to have a chance of getting first place. But I'm in 7th right now, so it's not looking like I'm going to win. But if I can at least get to the finish line, I'll be happy. I'm usually happy by just being able to do that. Because a lot of times, like, I'll just run out of time near the end. Yeah, that turn is like one of the worst in the game. I always struggle with it. And every time I hit a wall, I'm basically losing time because I slow down. You don't want to slow down. This part's really good to go through at full speed if you can. Yeah, definitely not gonna get first. This is the last stretch. I'm still in 5th place, which is just, that annoys me. I mean, that's how tough this game is. You gotta race like almost perfectly. If you don't, then no first place, no fourth track. Oh man. Alright, well, this doesn't really matter. Alright, there we go. We'll do another race. Actually, you know what I might do is, I might reset the console. I'm gonna hold down the mode button and see what happens. So I'm gonna do that, reset. Very curious if it'll enable analog support on this game. Blue Wolf says they're not good at racing games. They suck at it. Well, you know, just like anything, it's practice makes perfect.
Sega Rally Championship.
Alright, and we will try... For anyone that hasn't played this, by the way, you have all sorts of, like, options. You can even, like, set up your own car, which is kind of cool. There's even, like, some basic options in the options menu, like fast or slow handling, things like that. You can also put it on 3 laps. We'll do that. Basically, all 3 laps mode does is it kind of, like, spaces out the opponent cars, so they're not as, like, close together, so it takes a lot longer to pass them. You still have to race basically perfectly if you plan on getting first place. It does not make getting first place easier. So... When you play this game, you basically have to get good at it, like, really. Alright. Let's see what happens here. And we will try, I think it's the Celica? And I'm not that great, so I don't play with manual transmission. Manual, I think, will raise your chances of winning a little bit. A little bit more. Because manual transmission usually means, oh, is this? I think the analog stick's actually working now. I held in mode as the game started up. It's hard to tell. Yeah, I think it's working. I can't really tell. I think, yeah, I think it is. It feels like the Dreamcast analog stick, though, by the same company, where it's like, there's a huge dead zone. which is not good for these old analog stick games in particular. You need to have lots of finesse, otherwise there's no point in using an analog controller. It could also just be that this car is, No, I don't... Honestly, I don't think the analog stick's actually working. I think it's just a combination of there being a huge dead zone, and then the fact that this car is also... It feels heavier than the other car I played as. So I'm going back to the D-pad right now. Yeah, see that? I'm a little worried now about this whole analog functionality thing. Because what's the point of an analog stick if it doesn't support analog games? So we're gonna test it with other games that use analog controls later on. It could be the sort of thing where it doesn't work with 3D control pad games, but it works with like racing wheel games or flight stick games, which don't utilize analog the same way that the 3D control pad did. I don't know. Saturn analog is complicated. Right, the Saturn shit with the digital D-pad. It had analog controllers, but I think how those were driven and how those were recognized is different from the true 3D control pad modes with the 3D control pad. So the 3D control pad could replicate the analog functionality of the flight stick and the racing wheel, but it also had, you know, specific support for its analog stick, which is, it gets so complicated. But yeah, so far for this game, this controller, it works fine. The D-pad works fine. Hey, Deandra, welcome back. And Cafe Man, welcome back. And Retro Simon. Yeah, Cafe Man. In most racing games, you have a higher top speed with manual transmission. Yeah, that's why you want to try to get good with manual transmission, but... Had you laughing at my NES Let's Play? Why? Why was that? What was funny about it? I'm curious. Hey, Mark, MT Shark.
Whoa, caution, hairpin right. Checkpoint. Whoa. Okay, left. Medium right.
Yeah, I mean, lately in particular, I've been struggling to find the words I want to say. Probably blame the alcohol. Or maybe it's age, or maybe it's my diet, or maybe it's all three. I don't know. Maybe it's lack of sleep. Maybe it's all four. Yeah. I've been finding it's been tending to happen the most with words I don't use very often. Like fuse. I don't use that term very often. I don't have a reason to. Alright, so we're on lap 2. God, man, I'm just struggling with this. That's frustrating. Although I don't usually play with this car that much. I prefer the Lancia. I think it's Lancia. I might have actually got that name wrong. Whatever. I use the other car, the more boxy looking car. I feel like it controls a little bit better. At least more to my liking. I'm also going to blame the composite video, because man, this is blurry. This is not nearly as crisp as I'm used to when I play Sega Saturn. For anybody just joining, I mentioned it already at the beginning, but my RGB cable, basically, it's a long story. It's no longer working. I threw it away. I thought I had an S-video cable, which I did. I must have misplaced it because I can't find it. S-video actually looks really good on Saturn, so I had to resort to my composite cable. I was really, really close to streaming something else, because I really don't like stream with composite unless I have to. Or unless I'm going to do it as like a gimmick, like I've done Super Nintendo with composite intentionally, you know, just to mix things up. But I really wanted to play Saturn. And then I went out and bought this BrawlerGEN controller, which is a controller that works on both Saturn and Genesis. And so we're kind of testing that out at the same time. So yeah, that's kind of how we got here. Yeah, one rule of thumb is in this game is if you see a blue turn, you want to go through it at top speed. If you see a yellow turn, you might be able to get through it at top speed. You might have to brake. You just got to learn when to brake and when not to brake. Red turns are basically you're going to have to brake. There's no flying around those at top speed. Mark says, I got to make it up to too many games one time. Yeah. Sometime, Mark, when I have actual money and time, it would be cool. Some of my Virginia gamer friends went up there, and I see all their photos, and I'm like, aw, I want to go. I haven't been to a gaming convention in years now. The last one I went to was like MagFest, I think about 5 years ago. It's been a while. That was like the 5th year in a row I went to MagFest, and I placed in the finals in the pinball tournament, but I couldn't get back into the convention the next day because all the parking was taken. And then that kind of like made me a little bit salty about MagFest. Plus I had been like 5 years in a row, and I was like, you know, I think I'm done with the whole gaming convention thing. It was the same thing every year. It wasn't really all that exciting. But now that I've had a big break, I might feel a little bit differently about another convention. Wow, we might not even get... Holy crap! See, that's what I get for smashing in the walls in the previous course. We didn't even finish. Salvatore asked, have you ever been to Portland Retro Gaming Expo? Nope. I've never even been off the East Coast, my friend. So, nope, that's a big nope. Never been to Midwest Gaming Classic, never been to any of those other ones. Alright, see ya, Blue Wolf. Have a good night. Cafe Man's been using his Saturn HDMI, but the dang stereo sound is reversed. Deandrew picked up the new TMNT on PS5. It's good. Yeah, I streamed it last Friday. I was really impressed with it. I had a really good time with that. Patchouli! Milo! Patchouli! Milo! Hey, there's Patchouli! There's one of them. Hey, you! Hey, babe! Hey, babe! Go away! Where are you? She'll probably jump down. She's been sleeping a while today. Alright, so I'm actually very disappointed about the analog support on that game. It definitely did not feel like analog was much of a thing. Salvatore says he's totally into elevator action returns. Nice. Yeah, that's a Japanese exclusive on Saturn. Let's see. So, speaking of which, I do want something that is very much, you know, supporting 8-way movement. So I want to see what the D-pad's like on something like a shoot-'em-up. So I think we're going to play some, I'd rather something that fits more of the screen. Let's try, we're going to do some Darius Gaiden. I think that's what I want to play. Retro Simon, yeah, I got him. I think I've had him for about 2 months now. His name is Milo, and you'll see him later today in the stream, I'm sure. You gonna hunker down, Patchouli? Oh, there he is. There's Milo. He is a knucklehead. You're gonna come up here? No. No. You little butthead. Come here. Come here, you little guy. He loves to jump up on my desk and get in my way. Andrew asks, how did I get Patchouli's name? That was the name she came with, and so I just kept it. Yeah, that was the name the shelter gave her. And she recognized it, so... She might have been fostered for a little while, for all I know. I'm not sure. Hey, Scott! Alright. Let's give this a try. Just leave it on default settings. Do they get along? They do. Yeah. It took them a little while, but they get along now. Alright, so Darius Gaiden, A fires as well as C. And if you rapidly mash both A and C back to back, you can actually do a form of auto-fire. It's not really auto-fire, it kills your hands. I do recommend playing this game with a turbo controller. And hey, Sed, what's going on? Welcome back. Yeah, Darius 2 is alright, Salvatore. The problem with Darius 2 is it was meant for, you know, the multi-monitor setup, and so... it's not replicated the best in that way. Like, you can zoom it out if you want, but it's a little hard to see what's going on. But it's still fine. You know, all things considered. Yeah, Darius Gaiden was designed with a single screen in mind. So, no widescreen option for even the arcade version. G-Darius was the same way. It wasn't until a little bit later on they actually revisited the multi-screen idea. I am finding myself doing diagonalies by accident a little bit, which is not good. That's not good at all. Especially for a floating D-pad. It's like, come on. Retro Fighters, like, has really struggled to make a quality D-pad. I've had their Dreamcast, their Nintendo 64, and now their Saturn and Genesis controllers, and I haven't been terribly impressed. At least with the, I think the Nintendo 64 controller and the Sega Saturn controller, they're not that expensive. The Sega Saturn one cost me $28. Whereas the The Dreamcast controller I bought was like 45. It's like, and I was so disappointed with like the build quality on that thing. And what makes this controller an even better deal is that it also works on the Genesis. So it's like a 2-for-1. You know, if you for some reason have these consoles and you don't have any controllers, like, this might be a good buy. I mean, the D-pad does, like, reset nice and solid, which is good. Like, if you're holding left and you let go, it'll go back to neutral, like, instantly, which is great. That's good. But I am finding myself accidentally, like, doing diagonals. Then again, I am playing with... Like, I do have the controller in my lap at this time because I have to mash A and B, or A and C, for this game. And that could be putting my thumbs at, like, a weird angle. Which might be making me... It might exacerbate the whole diagonal issue. So, we'll play another shoot 'em up later that has, like, auto-fire, and I don't have to angle the controller weird. Great, I lost my shield. Yeah, no shield is no good. Brook SD adapter. Well, okay, so Salvatore, the Brook SD adapter is pointless for something where you're just going to use a D-pad. Because the Saturn controller is excellent, as is. There's no reason to use an adapter if you're just going to, you know, play games that use the D-pad. Now, the reason I would want a Brook adapter is to use an arcade stick. That is why I would buy one, and I still want to buy one. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. But this is one of those things where I basically just wanted to test this out and see how it is. I might even write a review on my website, because I haven't done a review like that in a long time. I already took photos and everything, so maybe after I do this stream, I'll have my thoughts together and I'll just, like, quickly, you know, whip something up for the website. Give my 2 thoughts on it, or 2 cents on this. Not 2 thoughts. I have more than 2 thoughts. And hey, John Smith, welcome back. Will you take the path to Zone M, Titanic Lands? Probably not. It's the Wingman is great for analog controller games. Okay, that's a reason I didn't really think about. Because so far this controller has not impressed me with the analog support. Oops, did not mean that I activated my bomb, but that's fine. You want to try to capture all the big enemies. You get massive bonus points after you beat the game if you do that. Yeah, man, I really wish there was turbo functionality in this controller. That would have been a nice addition for games like this. The arcade version of this game, if you play it at like a modern arcade in like Japan, they'll enable auto fire for you. It's like a standard over there, especially for games like this. Whoops. Extra life? Yeah, I don't even remember the typical path I would take. It's been a couple years since I've gotten my 1cc on this game. Basically, there's a route that's way easier than others, and once you figure that out, you know, you can get through the game pretty consistently. But I don't remember exactly what that route is, and I think I took the wrong route, because I don't normally fight this guy. He's not a horrible boss. He's not too terribly difficult. Cool, got him. Hey, Brad, welcome back. And LML, welcome back. Glad you guys could catch another stream. I mean, maybe it is M. Maybe I have to go the M route. What is the one shmup I always wanted to beat, but just never quite could? I mean, there's a bunch of them. Gradius 3 Arcade, R-Type 2 Arcade, Gradius 5 PlayStation 2, Gradius 4 Arcade. Noticing a trend here. Raiden Arcade, Raiden 2 Arcade. Yeah, it's quite a few others if I thought about it. Speaking of which, speaking of shmups, I actually bought the M2 Shot Triggers collections for the Tiger series, and then the Flying Shark Fire Shark series. So I don't know if they've shipped out yet. I bought them from Play Asia, so it might be a little while. But when I get them, I want to do some dedicated individual streams of those games, those packages. I need a fudge. I was gonna say I need a shield, but I died. Now I'm like heavily downgraded on my weapons. And there's a shield. Yeah, if you guys like shoot 'em ups, the Saturn is like one of the best consoles ever for that. It is a must-own if you like shooters. Whew. Yeah, I saw your message now 3 times, Lawrence. Congrats. I think you posted it once at the very beginning, you posted it a second time, and then you just told me again, so... yeah, I mean, congrats, man. I'm glad you're happy that you got your thing. The arcade 1-up cabs could be, they can be pretty fun. Enjoy it. Oh, that's not good. Oh, hey, Atrocity. Yeah, no, I mean, that excites me. I want it to be stupid hard, because if I want it to be stupid easy, I can just play the Genesis version. So... I'm also a big fan of Toe Plant shmups. I'm used to having to, like, recover in their games. So I'm very interested to see what it's gonna be all about. Oh, come on. I was not fast enough for that. Ugh, why am I dying like this? Well, that's game over. Alright, we'll try a different game. We'll try a different game that doesn't force me to, like, angle the controller in weird ways. Hey, Brandon. Yeah, the music is somewhat relaxing. And hey, Lyle, welcome back. The M2 port is this. Oh, the super hard Japanese version is the only one with the gadgets. Interesting. Yeah, I don't really use the gadgets. I mean, they're there. I don't really look at them when I'm playing. But yeah, that's interesting. I figured they'd have gadgets for every game. Said I might actually do that just because I want to try something that is I still want to test this D-pad. We're going to switch to a fighting game soon as well, but I think I'll do Galactic Attack. I'm not really taking requests. Yours was just coincidental, but we'll give it a go and see how it works with this controller. Yeah, so I mean, the original Saturn D-pad is it's just fantastic. I mean, with the Model 2 controller, technically it's the Model 1 controller in Japan, but here it was our second model controller that had just a kind of basically like a perfect D-pad. I never do accidental diagonals with that D-pad, but with a lot of third-party solutions, I do. So let's go ahead and hit start here. This is one of my favorite shooters from this era. By hitting the L key, you can actually get rid of the heads-up display to make your viewpoint a little bit, more open. This game does support Tate mode, so you can actually rotate your TV or your monitor. Yeah, I'm still doing accidental diagonals. If you press it too hard, so it feels like you have to be very light on it. Picking up 3 of those red icons gives you a weapon upgrade. Picking up one of the yellow ones gives you an instant weapon upgrade. But I think if you pick up like 2 of the reds and then you get a yellow, it'll actually cancel out the red pickups you've gotten. So you want to try to get yellow, then pick up reds. Yeah, my character's like jittering around occasionally when I'm trying to move. God, I swear, retro fighters just can't make a D-pad to save their life, and that's really frustrating. It's actually kind of interesting, because on this game, the D-pad feels a little unresponsive. I mean, Darius had felt fine in terms of responsiveness. I don't know. Maybe I'm just like, maybe it's all in my head. Might be all in my head. Yeah, normally I have a better gun by this point, but I missed half my power-ups. This is a really good, at least the Saturn version, it's a really good, kind of like beginner's shoot-'em-up. If you don't play a lot of shooters, but you want something where you're probably going to at least be able to get a few levels in, this is a really good one. Hey, Leo, welcome back, and Internet Junkie. Yeah, Cafe Man. I mean, I am definitely going to try Knights later. But I wanted to try some driving games, so we'll probably actually try Outrun, which supports the original 3D control pad. Yeah, I'm finding myself doing, like, random motions that I don't want to do. What's sad is I'm gonna be... I'm gonna feel obligated to use this controller for the whole stream, and I just don't want to. I'm already... I can already tell it's not my cup of tea. Because if I can't be accurate in a game like this, it's that I don't want to use the controller at all. You know, shoot-'em-ups... along with fighting games, are games where you have to be accurate at all times. Otherwise, your play just goes down the drain. And you have to be on point with these games. If you're not on point, they're going to be very frustrating. More frustrating than they already are, I should say. Yeah, Leo. And you know what's funny about that? It says that nowhere on the packaging. Nowhere on the packaging does it say it only registers as digital inputs. So what's the point of it? What? It's just a waste of money. It's a waste of cost. Like, what's the point of putting an analog stick when it doesn't work as an analog stick? I'm glad you checked their website before I did, because that was definitely going to be something I was going to do later. I'm actually surprised this boss is getting a little more aggressive than he usually does. So one thing I will say, if you're just playing like side-scrolling action games, this controller is probably fine. As long as your side-scrolling action game isn't a Sonic the Hedgehog where you can accidentally, like, duck or spin or something like that. Sed goes, thanks for saving me 30 bucks. You're welcome, Sed. Hey, Tenchi, your Saturn joystick broke not too long ago. What Saturn joystick are you talking about, Tenchi? Well, that's good, Scruff. I'm glad you're kind of getting into the genre. They're really fun. It helps to get better at them. The better you get, the more fun they are. Yeah, you'll notice I'm, like, doing, like, little micro, like, diagonals. That's not me. I'm not trying to do that. Jesus, man. It's a bad RNG on this guy. Thank you. I was gonna say, please die. Elliot Weinstein asks, what game is this? This is Galactic Attack. Also known as Layer Section in Japan. And RayForce in the arcade. And Gunlock in other regions. Alright, we're maxed out on firepower. We got 3 lives. Hey, Zanctum. Tenchi had the Japanese arcade joystick. Oh, I have one of those. I mean, if you're talking the official one, have you opened it up to see what's wrong with it? It could be like a wire snapped loose or something. I would definitely recommend opening it up if you haven't. Try to inspect it and see what's going on. Woo, we got it. Cafe Man says he has 2 OG Saturn pads, 2 small Japanese style pads, and 2 3D controllers. All from the 90s. Jeez, man. You want to sell me one of those 3D controllers? Leo says, yeah, it's scummy right there, not to mention that on the box. Yeah, I agree. Bad business practice. They took a note, or they wrote a note in their instruction manual being like, we're huge Sega Genesis and Saturn fans and blah, blah, blah. We strive to make the most cutting-edge products out there. And I'm like, really? This is just like typical third-party, like, garbage. Maybe garbage. Garbage is harsh. That is a little strong. It's usable, but it's not worth the price. Like just like their Dreamcast controller, it's way overpriced for what it is. You're better off paying that same $30 for an actual Saturn controller by Sega. You will be much happier. There is no point in buying the third-party knockoff for the same price that doesn't even work as well. It's just, that's always been my problem with their controllers. I will say the face buttons actually feel fine. I was a little worried when I first opened up opened the controller from the box, brought the controller out of the box, opened the box. I can't talk. I was a little worried because the buttons have a little more give than actual Saturn buttons. Like, they push down a little bit farther. But they actually feel fine when you're actually playing games, so that's good. Not a big fan of the D-pad, honestly. Something about it just doesn't feel right with this game. And also, I'm doing accidental diagonals a lot. I'm trying to intentionally just, like, baby tap the controller to not do as many diagonals. Alright, let's go for the right. So this guy, you can kill him two ways. You can either knock his arms off, or you can destroy his center. We're gonna go with the arm route. Usually a little bit easier. That was scary. Ugh. This is really scary with this D-pad. I don't feel like I'm in full control here. Yep, RayForce, absolutely. Atrocity says the N64 Retro Fighters controller is the only one he has, and it's only because he doesn't like the N64 controller. Oh, man. Yeah, and I had a lot of the same problems with their N64 controller. If I remember correctly, I think I'm going to have to use their N64 controller again, because it's been a couple years now. I have it still. But I feel like I remember the analog stick being fine for certain types of games, but really bad for others. Like, it was okay for 3D platformers, but it was terrible for driving games. Like F-Zero X. And then their D-pads have never been very solid. They feel good, but you have a tendency of doing accidental diagonals way too often. Oh, seriously. That never happens to me. Ugh. That was bad. I think what I'll do is probably fire up something like Street Fighter Alpha 2 next. Or maybe I'll bust out my... Maybe I'll bust out my action replay so I have the RAM cartridge and then do like Street Fighter 03. You can't see the score and stuff because I've disabled it. You can do that by pressing L. Because the score gets in the way. A lot of Saturn shmups actually did that, especially the Psycho ones. I think Batsugun also does it. Wow, I'm surprised he's not doing his big shot. I wonder if it's because I died, which probably lowered the rank a little bit. I'm guessing that's what happened. There we go. Oh my god, the bots have changed up from porn bots to cheat bots. I'll fix that after this game. Oh, come on, that was stupid. Well, this is pretty much it. Yeah, I don't even care anymore. Let's switch games. And let me do my thing to get rid of this bot. Looks like the cats actually abandoned us. That's a bummer. What sucks is that they're using emotes that I would generally, you know, some people would like to use. And now YouTube's going to see it as spam on my channel. Just get rid of these bots. Alright, let me swap games as I deal with the bots. Wow, and it looks like it was actually 4 different bots that time. That's so stupid. Because they don't realize they're just wasting their own time as well as our time. Maybe that's the point. They want to waste our time. Scott says the analog stick on the Retro Fighters N64 controller is quite good. I can't disagree more, man. I hated it. And it's all relative to like the kinds of games you're going to play. There are some games that require an insane amount of finesse, which the original analog stick provides, the original official analog stick. And the Retro Fighters controller is just does not make the mark, especially with games like F-Zero X and stuff like that. Oh, there's Milo. Look at that. So, Leo said something about Scruff buying an arcade stick. Would you recommend the NES Advantage for shmups on the Nintendo, or is it not really worth it? I would just use the NES D-pad, Scruff. Don't even bother with the joystick on NES. Alright, Milo. You gotta get down, buddy. Sorry, buddy. He just got up on my desk, was getting in my way. Yeah, I wouldn't even bother with an arcade stick on NES, to be honest. I mean, the analogs, the Advantage can work well enough. I would not do what Leo's talking about by buying a Retrobit stick and then modding it, because that costs a lot. That costs, well, it's time and money. It's not worth your time. I have a modded Retrobit stick, and I don't really like it that much. You know, it was neat that I went through the project and I had fun doing that, but for the most part, I just I didn't feel like it was worth my time. I would rather use an NES Advantage, believe it or not. It does feel more solidly built, and yeah. I mean, if you really have to, they're not too expensive. You know, an Advantage is probably like, what, $20 or $25 now, maybe even less depending on the condition. But I would honestly, if you're playing NES shmups, I would just use the NES controller. A lot of those shooters were designed for NES in particular, so like, you know, especially if you're playing stuff like Abadox and things like that. I don't know, it's up to you. If you feel like you'll get use out of an arcade stick, you know, the Advantage is worth it. Thanks, KBX. I appreciate people reporting the bots. It does help. We actually, I learned a new tactic the other day of blocking bots by getting rid of, or blocking the emoji they use. And it seemed to work, but now we have different types of bots. So before we know it, we're going to end up blocking like all the emojis known to man. Scott's getting the best free cheats. Yeah, no, they absolutely do 8-bit. I totally agree. People aren't going to like it, but YouTube needs to implement a two-factor authentication. I mean, like, mandate it. Like make sure everybody has it. If people don't want to use it, then tough luck. They can watch YouTube without the ability to leave comments. You know? And then they'll have to endure ads. So, but it'll make everybody else a little more sane, thankfully. Oh, get this 8-bit SNK boy. So you asked, sounds like the BrawlerGEN isn't up to the task. Have you tried the analog yet? There is no analog. Yeah, the quote-unquote analog stick on the face of the controller, you know, this thumb thing right here, yeah, it just replicates the D-pad. There's no analog functionality. It's so stupid. It's ridiculously stupid. It's misleading, and it's a waste of money. They could have made a shell that didn't have the analog cut out. They didn't have to pay for an analog stick and a nub. It's ridiculous. Retro Fighters, you're stupid. This is stupid. Okay, this is really annoying. It's misleading. And whatever, like, puff text you put in your freaking manuals, it's stupid. Don't give these people your money. This is like the third time I bought one of their products and I've been very disappointed with it for one reason or another. This analog stick is the most stupid aspect of this controller. Milo, you want to chew my controller? You want to chew it? You want to play with it?
Oh man!
You want to play with it? You want to play with it? Dude, the controller's so dumb even Milo doesn't want to play with it. That's pathetic. You can't get my cat to play with your stupid controller. You failed. Especially with this guy. This guy's a little crackhead. Where's my hand? Where's my finger? Ah, there it is. Can act like I'm petting him. Pet the kitty. Blow off some steam. Alright, let's scroll down the chat here. And I meant to actually pick some more games, but oh man, I'm fired up right now. I don't know if I've played... I was going to do Street Fighter 02, but let's... Man, I was going to say that I could start off with Primal Rage, actually, but... Nah, we'll do Street Fighter 02. Let's get some music going here. Cool down, Austin. Cool down. Alrighty. Oh, Leo, you still get bots talking about your extended warranty? Really? I haven't gotten one of those in a while, thankfully. Or at least they don't leave voicemails. Atrocity says, did you see the Cyberstick announcement for the Mega Drive Mini 2? Yeah, we actually talked about that on last night's stream. Yeah, it looks pretty cool. I'd be interested to know, like, how well that works. Yeah, well, that was one of the reasons I wanted to get this controller, Leo. Is I was like, oh man, I don't have a 3D control pad. I would like analog functionality just to mess around with occasionally. Nope. That was literally part of the reason I bought this controller. And it's nowhere in the box saying that it doesn't work as an analog stick. Nowhere in the box. I'm in the store with the product in my hands. It's got all this information on it. Except the fact that it doesn't actually use it's not actually an analog stick. Like, what the hell? Why? Atrocity, it's on their website. You have to go to their website to find that information. Check this out. This is the information on the on the back of the box. First controller to feature a 2-in-1 connector that's compatible with both the Sega Genesis and Mega Drive and Sega Saturn. Compatible with the original Sega Genesis, Mega Drive, and Sega Saturn, as well as most third-party systems. High quality and responsive D-pad. Comfortable and responsive analog stick. Compatible with Sega Saturn and Mega Drive games. Analog stick, it's right on the box. Repositioned mode button, oh wow. Compatible with 6-button and 3-button games. Extra long, bow chicka bow wow, where are the porn bots now? 10-foot cord. Nothing about it not actually being an analog stick that doesn't work with analog stick Saturn games. Nowhere. Why am I even bothering at this point? I should just plug in a regular Saturn controller. Oh, I didn't even think about that, Leo. Having it work with analog-compatible Genesis games? Wow. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Alright, let's check our options mode. Oh. Let's bump up the difficulty just a little bit. I want to make sure my buttons are fine. X, Y, Z. Oh. Okay, X, Y, and Z are actually in the right positions. Okay. Had to make sure. Alright. Let's see how bad the D-pad is for this. Hey, Roger, welcome back. We're a little salty right now. Don't mind us. Alright, we shall do... Maybe I'll do Goki. No, I'll do Ken. Alright, let's go for it. Definitely don't want to do auto. We're going to do normal. That's right, we're actually playing the Japanese version, apparently. I should have put the American ones on here, at least for 1 and 2. 3 was only released in Japan on Saturn. Goki mode is what? I have no idea. You'll have to Google it and let us all know, Roger. Probably should have left turbo on. It's actually a little slow. 8-Bit says, still my favorite Street Fighter. Street Fighter Alpha 2 Dash. Gatoran says, Rose was my favorite on the US SNES version. That's actually a pretty fun version. I like it quite a bit. Yeah, air throws. You know what actually really sucks is the analog stick is so close to the D-pad. My thumb is grazing the analog stick as I'm playing. Especially if I use like the very edge of the D-pad, it'll hit the analog stick, which can then trigger the D-pad. Because it's linked to the D-pad. Oh man, this controller is just, there's very questionable design choices.
Round 1, fight!
Okay, you just touched those fireballs, Zangief. I'm supposed to test this controller, but you're not letting me. I have to actually play the game, Zangief, to test this controller properly. Oops, I thought that would link, but I guess not. Wow. This is the medium difficulty? So Roger says it's Akuma mode, and you basically have to fight Akuma. Is that it? You literally just fight Akuma? Or is there more to it? But I know Goki was Akuma. That's the Japanese name for that character. Uh-oh, that's not good. Woo! Really? Flawless? Perfect. Perfect! Very nice. So, I mean, the D-pad's doing okay right now for this game. That said, I'm not really playing that hard. So someone that's like really good at like X-Men versus Street Fighter, I can't vouch for this. Oh, you know what? Yeah, my thumb is grazing the analog stick and it's triggering up left. Wow. I wonder if there's a way to just go in and like disable the analog stick, like rip its contacts off. I don't know if there are wires going to it or if it's like a part of a PCB. I'm gonna have to open up the controller just to see what's on the inside of it. But so far, it's the D-pad's working okay. But man, I keep grazing the freaking top of the analog stick. I don't like that. The buttons do feel fine. I haven't had any issues with the buttons, thankfully. Oh yeah, no, 8-bit, definitely stick with the original controllers. That's my outlook right now. Is buy an actual Saturn controller by Sega. Music in this game is pretty good. I totally forgot about that. I usually play Street Fighter 03, not 2. 3 is kind of my go-to. Hey, Marcelo. Finished R-Type Final 2. Nice. Now you gotta unlock all the ships and do all the routes, and... yeah. Yeah, Mark, that actually would have been a really good idea. Put the analog stick up top. Top left, with the D-pad on the bottom. Oh, I mean, honestly, okay. Let me reiterate. There is literally 0 point to this analog stick. All it does is replicate the D-pad motions. It's not an actual analog stick, or it's not treated as such. So the fact that the stick is here to begin with is stupid. It's idiotic. It's absolutely idiotic. It's a waste of resources. It's a waste of money. Probably all it does is add to the cost for the end user for something that they're not even going to use. It's really dumb. It's unbelievably dumb. So they should have just gotten rid of the analog stick completely. End of story. Oops. And now that I'm actually having to work, I'm doing stuff like diagonals accidentally. Once your thumb starts to get heavy, you're not being accurate with this controller. And I do not have that problem at all with the official Sega controllers. You know, we might end up switching off this stupid controller in a little bit. I'll play a couple more games with it, but I'm already realizing that this controller is stupid. It's just a waste of money. I suffer so you don't have to! And it's like, I don't even need to test this with Genesis, because I'm gonna have the exact same problems. I'm just playing 2D games. You know? And I'm struggling with just 2D games, which is bad. It's just bad, bad, bad. Yep, that's not good. Wow, he let go of block too early. Weird. Chris asks, which controller? We're using the Retro Fighters BrawlerGEN controller. It's wired. And it is terrible. Oops. No, I'm not using the Retrobit controller. It's this one right here. We have an inaccurate D-pad, uncomfortable shoulder key positioning, and an analog stick that's not actually an analog stick. This thing is stupid. Yo, Uber, what's going on? No, it's not nice, Uber. And don't buy it, Uber. I know you like your crappy third-party controllers. Save your money on this one. Or how about this? After I write a review, I'll just send it to you. Hoi! That's right, in 0-2. Oh my god, I'm doing jumps by accident. I'm just doing my quarter circle forward motions. Oi! Yeah, Chris, it looks a lot better than it actually plays. Yeah, I can agree with that. Oops. Every time I'm doing like dragon punches, I end up jumping. It's like, why? Whoops! And I'm dead. Scruff asks, is Mad Cat still around? I don't think so. Didn't they get absorbed by some other company? Let's see. Let's look them up. Yeah, they're a Chinese company. I mean, apparently they're still around. Oh, geez. Yeah, I mean, they still make stuff, apparently. I don't know if I'd... Well, I mean, their fight sticks were actually pretty good during the 360 and PS3 era. Definitely not a company I really hear about these days, but apparently they have gaming mice and all that stuff, and keyboards. Looks like they've got some arcade sticks still. Interesting. Uber likes the Retrobit Tribute 64. Yeah, I'm iffy on the Tribute. I actually bought one of those too, and I did a couple streams testing it out, and if I remember correctly, I think it was fine for platformers. Base buttons were okay, but the D-pad was in a terrible position, so it was kind of useless for 2D games. which I play a lot of 2D games on N64, believe it or not. And then the analog stick wasn't perfect for driving games. I think it was better than the Brawler controller, but there's still no reason for me to use it over an official N64 analog controller. Atrocity says, Mad Cats, the name I think of when I think of Player 2 controllers. Yeah, it's the controller you give your friends. Alright, we're gonna put turbo on. See how much of a difference this is. Uber says the D-pad is fixed? What do you mean? Is it like closer to the left? Well, why do I have to buy a wireless version to get the fix? Can't they just release a wired version? I'm confused. Oh, there. I was just holding right, and I jumped. Ah, screw it. The whole D-pad can bottom out, though. What do you mean by bottom out? What, it just stops working? Well, 8-bit, I mean, I agree with that. But there are other systems where the official controllers are kind of terrible. Yeah, I like, sometimes my diagonal doesn't even work. I press up forward and up back, and I just jump straight up. Dude, Retro Fighters makes trash D-pads, and I'm not even exaggerating. What's sad about their controllers is they're deceptive at first. Like, you first use them, and you're like, oh, you know, this could be okay. It's got a decent feel. Then you try to actually, like, you know, play accurately, and then you realize you can't. Because their controllers are crap. Oh my god, I'm yelling because my audio is so loud in my headphones. I'm turning that down a little bit. And I'm fired up right now, because this is just... I hate how deceiving their products are. They're definitely a company that's being added to my retro gaming shit list. I'm always willing to give them the benefit of the doubt, but this is 3 controllers now where they've been half-assed through and through. That's like over like over $100 I've spent on their piece of garbage controllers. Ugh. OG controllers for the win. Don't support companies like this that half-ass their way to victory and expect you to be happy about it at the end of the day. But on that note, 8-bit, you know, you mentioned certain consoles with controllers that aren't that great. Master System definitely qualifies. That D-pad, in particular, is not very good. Which is sad, is I like how comfortable it is, but it is not very accurate. It's way too easy to do diagonals. We've talked about this before, but like some of those Golden Age era joysticks are not very comfortable or accurate or all that, you know, good. Like the Intellivision disc, the ColecoVision joystick, Atari 5200 analog stick has many issues that are well documented. But then the Atari 7800 has a god-awful joystick that comes with it as well. The Philips CDI is, you know, obviously, you know, a lot of people complain about the IR controllers. It's not meant to be, you're not meant to play games with those controllers, but even if you buy, like, an official gamepad, they're still poor. They're just rebranded Gravis gamepads, which were fine for PC games. You didn't expect a whole lot on the PC back then. But for a console controller on a TV, it's half-assed compared to like a Genesis or Super Nintendo controller. So yeah, there are official controllers that are just not that great. Neo Geo CD is another one. I love the controller actually, but I'm not gonna like sit here and recommend it wholeheartedly with a straight face. It can be hard to use. The analog, not the analog, but the their micro switch joystick on it can be really difficult to be accurate with. It takes a lot of practice. You shouldn't have to like practice and get good at using an official controller. You should be able to like step up to it, and it should just feel right, and you shouldn't have any problems with it. The Neo Geo CD controller is not that. It requires you to get good. Get good with the controller. I love it though, and I still love it, but yeah, I wouldn't recommend it to people. Yeah, I mean, the 360 controller is great if you're not using the D-pad. Yeah. I mean, I go back and forth on the 360 D-pad. I do feel like it depends on the model that you have. But even recently, the model I have, which is a later, like, black controller, wired, I've still been struggling with that D-pad a little bit. So I totally get where people are coming from with that. So Uber says, the Striker DC from Retro Fighters is just terrible. The stick was loose out of the box, started to drift within minutes. Yeah, and you know the review I gave on that, Uber. You read it, and yeah. I was very disappointed with that controller, and part of it there was that it was extremely... it was expensive. It was like 45 bucks. A regular Dreamcast controller, official, is under 20. And it works better in pretty much every way. And there were some other questionable design choices on the Dreamcast Brawler that just made no sense. And that just seems to be something that Retro Fighters does, is they just add features for no freaking reason. Yeah, Uber, the Dreamcast D-pad is hit or miss for a lot of people. It's one that I've never really had a big problem with. You know, I was there right from day one on the Dreamcast. I never really had an issue with it. But a lot of people complain about the Dreamcast analog stick, and I don't understand that at all, because it's very sensitive in a good way. There's a wide range of motion, which is what you need for analog stick games, especially driving games. And the Dreamcast provides that in spades. And, whereas something like the, I was thinking the Retro Fighters N64 controller, it's like there's way too large of a dead zone. And there was the same thing with the Dreamcast Retro Fighters analog stick. Way too much of a dead zone. So it was really, really difficult, almost impossible in some games, to finesse your turns, which is super important, especially in Dreamcast era driving games. Like, they took advantage of the Dreamcast's really smooth analog stick.
Round one, fight!
Some Dreamcast controller variants had different D-pad heights? Are you sure about that? I've had a lot of Dreamcast controllers, and I don't remember really feeling a difference. I'd like to see some side-by-sides for that. I mean, even at my old job, I was taking apart Dreamcast controllers, and I never once ran into one where, like, the D-pad felt higher than another. I'm a little skeptical on that. Jump! Fail. Fail. Oh, fail. Wow. I feel like I'm just getting shafted at this point. You have the Japanese Millennium controllers. Okay. I still want to see some side-by-sides. Scruff asks, are Dreamcasts pretty reliable, specifically the laser? Yes and no. Honestly, Dreamcast is one of the systems I've had be more somewhat fickle over the years. Like, they've always been reliable to an extent, but every Dreamcast I've had has had like a weird quirk here and there where like a particular game wouldn't work. But then all the other games are fine. But that game would work on other Dreamcast systems but those other Dreamcast systems would have their own quirks. So yes, I'd say it's reliable, but I feel like Dreamcasts are just a little quirky to begin with. That's my experience having a lot of different Dreamcasts over the years. So, your mileage may vary. Alright, let's switch up. You know, because I couldn't get my RGB cable working on my Saturn, and I couldn't find my S-video cable, I was very, very close tonight to doing a Dreamcast stream. But I really wanted to play Saturn. And then I went out and bought this Retro Fighters controller, thinking it would have been a good idea. I'm sure it's made the stream a little more interesting. I apologize for the salt, but I hope you guys understand. Okay, this is not Marvel vs. Capcom. I cannot do a jump kick and then a fireball. Okay, this D-pad is getting me killed. Alright, we're probably just gonna switch up. Mark says my Dreamcast sounds like someone cutting wood on a rotary saw. Have you tried cleaning out your fan, Mark? It's usually the fan that's making a lot of that noise. You can also actually replace the fans in the systems, which is kind of interesting. Jeff! Someone banned Jeff! He likes the Retro Fighters controller. I'm just kidding, Jeff. Whatever makes you happy. Even if it's terrible controllers. Oh my god, I still lost. Come on, man. Oh, well, I mean, the disk drive always makes those noises, Mark, regardless if you're a Dreamcast, yeah. Jeff has entered timeout. Alright, I obviously suck, although I could blame this controller. You know, I should switch controllers and then see how much better I do. I'm gonna do that. This controller is just not... Jeff says the Dreamcast controller's D-pad is horrible. Maybe you just need to get good with it, Jeff. Oh, man. Yeah, you know what's funny? I think I did a Let's Play of Marvel vs. Capcom 2 years ago, and I was just using the stock D-pad, and I had 0 issues, so... I mean, it's a very floaty D-pad, and I could totally see people accidentally doing diagonals. But, like, I've never really had that issue, so I feel like... I don't know. Jeff roast! I'm just giving Jeff a hard time. Jeff is great. And I'm also just very salty about that Retro Fighters controller. It's gonna be very difficult for me to give it like an unbiased review. You know, let's go back into training mode. I'm using an actual Saturn Model 2 controller. Granted, I got this one today too. It's not in the greatest condition, so we'll just kind of see. I'm just very curious if I like am accidentally doing diagonals just like I was in with the Brawler controller. I also would like to test this controller anyway, so... Let's see. Normal mode.
Round one, fight!
Happy 401 stream. Well, thanks, Jeff. Oh, man. Yeah, so far so good, and this controller definitely feels worn in. Yeah, it feels a little mushy. I wonder if they actually replaced the, I wonder if they replaced, like, the, God, what the hell is it, what's it called? The conductive pad underneath the D-pad. Just realized there's Captain Commando and Strider. Some other characters from Captain Commando. I don't know who those characters are. Was that Morrigan? I can't tell. No, I don't think it is. I don't see any wings. I don't know who that chick is on top of the presents. Oh, what is her name? Fiona? Or something like that? She's Darkstalker's character. Interesting. I always noticed Strider. Strider's holding a teddy bear. So manly. Yeah, so far so good. I'm not having any problems with this controller. Ah, oh, damn it, Retro Fighters. Oh, Felicia is her name. Oh, thanks, 8-Bit. I appreciate it. Alright. Switching games. Jeff says one of the girls in the pools from the Alien vs. Predator game. Oh, interesting. All right. Well, like I said, I've given up on that Retro Fighters controller. That was a big old waste of money. I mean, sometimes, like, you've got to do that just to get the first-hand experience. Otherwise, you're just kind of going based off what others are saying. And I was hoping that it would be a really good solution for, like, both consoles. But it's definitely not. Just don't even bother. You're better off just with first-party. Or if you're doing Genesis, get just one of the Retrobit controllers. I think they use the original molds. They've got some reliability issues with the D-pad snapping, but they'll replace it for you, no cost. They'll just send you a new piece, and then it's good as new. I had that happen to mine. Good experience with that. So I'd recommend Retrobit much more over the Retro Fighter stuff. Just I would avoid their stuff. I just think for the price, it's a waste of money. You can do better with your money, and that's the whole thing. Oh man, man, I'm trying to think of like what I haven't played on Saturn 1,000 times already on this stream. Man, I mean, I've done a bunch of Saturn streams over the years, and there's a lot of stuff that I have already played before. Let's do... I'm going through my lists, and it's, yeah, I'm not really sure. Not really sure. Johnny Bazooka Tone! Let's not do that, actually. I can't do Loaded, because that's got lots of copyrighted music. I'll get copyright claims out the wazoo. And that's never fun. Let's this. Well, I don't want to lose our entire viewer base right now. Maybe we'll play this later on tonight when I want people to fall asleep. I don't know if I ever tried. Mass Destruction. Let's give that a go. I don't know if I've ever shown that off on my stream, but it's a game I used to like playing a lot. It's actually one of those Saturn/PlayStation games that's actually better on the Saturn. That was rare back in the day. Usually the PlayStation versions were better. But in the case of Contra and Mass Destruction, those were actually superior on Saturn. They were probably originally designed for the Saturn. No, Mark, I'm not playing Doom on Saturn. No one wants a slideshow right now. If I want a slideshow, I'll play, oh, man. I'll play Virtual Hide-Lide. Oh, Leo says, Mass Destruction was one of his, first Saturn games years ago. He likes it a lot. Very nice. Leo, I actually started the stream with Sega Rally, so we won't be playing that, unfortunately. Hey, Andy, welcome back. Nights into Dreams. I might play Nights later. Yeah, so Jeff, the Retro Fighters controller would be fine if, like, it wasn't, like, I couldn't reliably just go straight left, straight right, or just up or down. And even sometimes my diagonals wouldn't register as diagonals. They would register as, like, just up instead of diagonally up forward. And so when I was playing Street Fighter in particular, it was extremely fickle. And we'll go ahead and leave it on the default. This is a Western developed game, so it's a good chance it's actually really hard. But yeah, it's so inconsistent. And you can't have that on a D-pad, especially for Saturn era of games, where like games got a lot more, 2D games got a lot more intense. You need the accuracy, and that's why the Saturn D-pad is so damn good. And it's so well revered within, like, you know, the Saturn community and retro gaming community as a whole. It's just, it sucks because the face buttons were fine. I actually had no problems with the face buttons. But the D-pad was just super inconsistent, and that's a problem. And you know, oh, I don't want to keep complaining. I don't want to keep going on about it. I want to just have happy times for the rest of the stream. But the fact that there's an analog stick there, but it's not actually an analog stick, it's just mind-boggling. It is mind-boggling. I don't understand it at all. All right, here we go. So Mass Destruction. You can rotate your turret, which is kind of neat. And then I think one of our buttons actually destroy water reserves, destroy all 3 small villages. Okay. Let's see. Okay, looks like the Y button does that. And the visuals in this game are actually really nice. It's 60 FPS. Okay, so there's a village above me, and then one to the right, one to the top left. Okay, so we can actually switch to a different gun, I believe. Okay, there it is. There we go. I like this cannon because it's infinite ammo, whereas everything else has limited ammo. Milo! Milo's right in front of me right now. Milo, your tail's in my face. Now he's bumping into my microphone. Okay. You're such a knucklehead. You're such a knucklehead. Here, come here. He's such a goofy cat. Jeff goes, that tank is cruising. Yeah, it really is. Hey, Office, welcome back. Mark says, the one guy that helped launch the Dreamcast just passed away. Yeah, Bernie Stoller passed away just the other day. It's a big shame. But he was up there in years, so it kind of made sense. We're all gonna get there one day, but it's a big shame because he was instrumental in the Dreamcast's initial success. He really pushed for a lot of the features that the console had. 8-Bit says, I enjoyed Mass Destruction, good mindless violence. Roger asks, do I have Sonic Jam? I do. You know what? We might actually be able to play that later, because I haven't actually played a Sonic game on stream in a while. Leo says, boo, you're supposed to wait until I get here before playing Sega Rally. Hey man, just turn your notifications on. Atrocity says, the visuals look really nice too. I wish more games back then shot for 60 FPS. Just looks great. Yeah, exactly. The 60 FPS really holds up quite nicely. And it was noticeable back in the day, because most 3D games back then on console were 30 tops, if it even hit that, so... Alright, where am I? There I am. Yeah, I love that you can use the shoulder keys to rotate the turret, and then you can effectively just strafe like a first-person shooter. Can be a little disorienting, but you get used to it. Up goes forward, down goes back. Left and right turn, like a first-person shooter. This game actually distorts quite a lot, and my sound limiter that I have on the game audio is probably not helping. So, I apologize for the audio probably being super crunchy right now. That might be everything. I think there's an extraction point we have to get to. I don't know if there's a time limit on this first level. Leo was doing his chipmunk chores. Tell Dale just to come inside and watch the stream with you. I'm guessing that 1000 is my HP. Yeah, I just took a hit and it dropped. Okay. It's been a while since I played this. Oh yeah, that's right. You can go underwater, but you can only stay underwater so long. See the water rising down below? Oh, maybe it only goes higher up if you go to, you know, greater depths. I think that's what it is. Okay. Yeah, you can see my turret still sticking out, so it's not deep enough. I wonder if there's any water here that's too deep just to show it off. There probably is if I come up to the top left. Yeah, there it is. So if you go... Yeah. Oh! Yeah, if you let it build up too much, then you drown. It's pretty neat. Okay, there's the extraction point. We got it. Cool. Steve-O says this game reminds him of Jackal on the NES. Yeah. Jeff says he thinks this is the first time seeing Milo. He's cute. Yeah, Milo he's really cute. But man, he's a handful. He's always got tons of energy. And he likes to get up and jump on my desk and sleep, like sit on my keyboard, which is not good when I'm streaming or doing something productive. Alright, primary missions. Disrupt power supply, retrieve agent from southwest. Okay. Oh, that is true, Leo. Yeah, you probably don't want to bring a chickmunk into a house full of cats. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Makes sense. Yeah, the fact that you have strafing really elevates this above other tank-based games. 'Cause a lot of tank-based games, you can't do that. So it makes the action a little more arcadey. And you have a greater chance at success. Because you can actually dodge stuff easily. That's really good. Or even some other tank games where you can rotate your turret, your tank is atrociously slow. And so it's like, it's still really difficult to dodge stuff. Uh-oh. It's actually funny they're using the same death sounds used in Wolfenstein 3D on the Jaguar. Just probably came from some canned sound sample library. Don't know if I can bust in there. You know what happens when you don't have to worry about your controller not functioning correctly? You can actually start enjoying the games you're playing! What a concept! game would actually probably be pretty fun with an arcade stick. Later, 8-Bit. Take care, man. Have a good night. I know it's late for you over there. Man, there are a lot of huts here. Let's actually switch my gun. Actually, it looks like my machine gun is unlimited ammo, too. Wait, what? What did I get hit by? I had a ton of health. I thought I had like 800 hit points. I just died out of nowhere. Did I hit a mine or something? That was weird. Oh, I killed the guy, the mission guy. That's right, I was supposed to rescue someone. I was too busy blowing stuff up. Man, they want me to actually think? How am I supposed to do that? That's just not feasible. Not after you've used the Retro Fighters BrawlerGEN controller. Man, I'm full of zingers tonight. I'm just kidding. Oh, let's see. Leo says he's not too familiar with the 32-bit sequels of the Strike series, but a tank would have fit right in when Jungle Strike and Urban Strike started mixing up the vehicles in later missions. Yeah, I never played the 32-bit Strike games either. I've only dabbled a tiny bit with the 16-bit ones. And hey, Nicholas, welcome to the stream. Let's see. Yeah, that's one of the things about these mission-oriented games is that, you know, if you don't do something just right, you will end the mission completely and have to do it all over again. Yeah, still pretty cool game, though. I definitely recommend checking out the PlayStation version on YouTube just to compare. But the Saturn version is actually quite a bit nicer, which is, again, like I said, is very uncommon during that era. Generally, it was like PlayStation had the edge. I mean, when it came to 3D titles, anyway. Saturn oftentimes had the edge when it came to 2D stuff. The way, like, you had to do 2D on PlayStation was very different from Saturn. I think Saturn was what prior developers were more used to when it came to two-dimensional stuff. So it kind of naturally excelled at that. Not to say PlayStation can't do 2D. It can still do it very well. It's just done differently, so. Alright. Yeah, so that was our first 3D-ish game. I'm trying to think of any other 3D games I can play right now. So, Roger had mentioned, I think Roger said Sonic Jam. So we can actually mess around with that for just a little bit. I'll show off the 3D world. And we can also play a little bit of, like, I don't know, maybe Sonic 1 with the spin dash? I'm thinking Sonic 1 with the spin dash. Alright, while this plays out, I'm going to use the restroom real quick. I will be right back.
Sonic Jam.
Oh, that's right. We have different resolution switches here. I'll probably have to reset my capture card once we get into a game. This is why I need a RetroTink 5X. I'd be able to avoid a lot of this. Let me... Jeez, what's happening here? Yeah, it's going from 480i to 240p, and it drops the signal every time. Hey, Mark. Yeah, I haven't seen you around here too often lately, so welcome back. I hope you're doing well. Oh my god, stop going to the freaking games. I want to just get into the main menu. Well, you know what, guys, I don't... The resolution switching is actually demolishing my capture card right now, so we're going to actually just not play Sonic Jam. I apologize for that. I really wanted to play Sonic Jam. I haven't played a Sonic game in a little bit. That sucks. There are other Sonic games I could play, but I'm not really... I'm not really too interested in them. I mean, I could do like Sonic 3D Blast. That'd probably... I think that's 240p through and through. I don't think there's anything 480i with that game. Maybe the title screen, but I don't even think that is 480i. I think Sonic 3D Blast is 240p. Ugh, that's super disappointing. I would much rather play Sonic Jam. But we'll try 3D Blast. No, I'm not touching Sonic R with the 10-foot pole, Roger. That game is dumb. Sorry, Sonic fans. I don't like Sonic R at all. Seth asks, have you played that modern Sonic Origin compilation? I have not. I'm probably going to hold off on it for a little while. I wish I could just buy like every $40 game that comes out and not hurt at all, but yeah, probably going to have to pass on it for a while. Unless it comes to like Microsoft Game or Xbox Game Pass, then I can download it and stream it for you guys. So Atrocity, one of the nice things about Sonic Jam is at least if you get a Japanese copy, it's pretty cheap. I think it's still like a $25-ish game. And also, it's got the spin dash added to Sonic 1, which is really cool. It changes the dynamic of the game. You can disable it. And also, it's got the bonus world, where you can go into, like, you know, it's a little 3D space. You can go into all these huts with all these, like, bonus things. Like, it's got all the commercials from, like, the 16-bit Japanese games. And it's got the animations from the Sonic CD, and they run at a way better frame rates. There's some really cool stuff that's in Sonic Jam that made it worth owning back in the day. Actually, it looks like there's not much in the way of options. We'll just go ahead and hit start. All right, see you, Mark. Have a good night. Now, I don't know if the load times are improved here because we're on the Satiator, but the original version of this game, it took forever to load. Like, it took a really long time. Or at least it felt like a long time back in the day compared to other games. We're actually... Oh, right into the game. Very good. So this is just like Sonic 3D Blast on the Genesis. But it's the Saturn version. It's way more colorful here. Looks a lot nicer. Way more animations and stuff like that. And it's actually funny, I'm seeing some like rainbow types of effects thanks to the composite video. Probably looks a lot better on a CRT though. Alright, let's see. Okay, so the B button lets me spin. So if you guys have never played this before, you have to kill enemies, collect the flickies that drop, take them to an exit, and then you go on to the next section until you beat the level. It takes a little while to get used to. I've never been a huge fan of this game. I mean, I don't hate it, but I don't love it either, that's for sure. I have beaten it before, but it's been a long time. So there are also bonus rooms you can go to. The bonus levels are actually really cool in this game. It's definitely a big enhancement or a big improvement over the Genesis game. I'll try to show it off. Let's come back down this way. So you can actually spin dash. There we go. Secret. Alright, let's see. Is there anyone down here? I think I might have to jump into this cannon. Let's see. Here we do it. Weird perspective is weird. Oh, there's Knuckles. Okay, talk to Knuckles, give him rings. Bonus level. Atrocity says 3D Blast was his first ever Sonic game as a kid. As such, he's developed Stockholm Syndrome and enjoy playing it quite a bit. That's perfectly fine. I don't blame you. So this is a take on the Sonic 2 bonus stages. I'm gonna have to watch a YouTube video of this game running from disk. I feel like these load times are sped up quite a bit. Also, actually, what's cool about this tune is it's a remix of one of the tracks from Game Gear Sonic 2. I thought it was a remix. Kind of vaguely is. Aw, it's only 2 rounds. I was hoping it would be 3. Because it's fun. It's probably the most fun part of this game for me, personally. Well, Atrocity, since you know how to play this game, do you know what happens when you get all the Chaos Emeralds? Anything special? Like different endings? Or a supersonic? Is there a... Tell us more, Atrocity. Atrocity says he heavily prefers the Genesis soundtrack. Okay. Yeah, there's... The Genesis soundtrack, I will definitely give you that. It's quite good at points. And he says he hasn't finished this in a long time. I wonder if this just crapped out on us, or if it's just taken a long time to load. I was pretty sure there were supposed to be load screens, and I'm not really seeing load screens. We'll just let it sit for a little bit. Atrocity says he thinks the emeralds give you a true final boss at the end. Okay. I might actually be kind of bummed if this just has crapped out on us. Mike thinks it's crashed. Uh-oh. The original programmer made a director's cut version. Oh, interesting, of the Genesis game. And in that version, the emeralds turn you into supersonic. Okay, so that was like a feature he might have wanted to put in the original game and just wasn't able to. The darkness is Sonic 3D Blast, Leo. The Frame Meister just kept crapping out with the resolution switching. So we had to forego Sonic Jam, unfortunately. That's one of those things I'll have to play on a CRT. And also RIP Sonic 3D Blast, because it doesn't seem like it's working. Well, that's disappointing. And hey, DG, welcome back. Dude, that sucks. Yeah, the access light is just constantly blinking. It's not doing anything. Well, that blows. Sorry about that, guys. That's 2 games back to back that failed on us. What a stream! I was really pumped to just do a stream tonight and play some Sega Saturn, have a good time. Ended up starting 3 hours late. Bought a busted-ass controller that no one should ever even look at. And now half my games aren't working. This is just... And I have to do all this in composite, too. That makes it even worse. That makes it so much more worse. So much worse. Alright. I'm trying to avoid relying on games where I shoot people over and over again. Or shoot spaceships or something. I don't know. Shoot things. That's one of the problems with capturing Saturn, especially with older upscalers, is that the constant resolution switching, it can just be really, really bad. Let's try... this is something I've played actually a lot on my channel, but we'll go ahead and just... we'll play it again, because it's one of my favorites. Yeah, well, the thing is, Leo, it's just the music in the Sonic Origins for Sonic 3 and Knuckles, it just doesn't sound right to a lot of people. You know, they want the original music, otherwise it's just not, it's not the same. And I don't blame them. Yeah, it feels like my FrameMeister's really dying to these resolution switches, and that's not good. Mike unironically loves Bug 1 and 2. You are a special man, Mike. You are special. Like I tell people, it's whatever makes you happy, man. Dude, check out Virtual On here. I don't know why my FrameMeister is having such a fit with this stuff, but... I mean... I almost feel like I should just switch to a different console at this point, because this is just starting to aggravate me like crazy. And that's not even the satiator's fault that time. That's just the resolution switching, and my FrameMeister just hates it. I don't have that problem when I'm using, I don't have that problem when I'm using the RGB cable. My RGB cable took a dump, and so now I don't have an RGB cable for my Saturn. So... And I couldn't find my S-Video cable. Oh boy. The problem is a lot of these Sega games I want to play all do the same thing. Like... Let's do, let's try Virtua Fighter 2. Because this game is high-res like the entire time, so hopefully there's no resolution switching to speak of. I have streamed Saturn before, Andy, but for a while I was using... For a while I was using a totally different capture card, and I would run the Saturn directly into it via RGB. But I can't do that now, because for one, I don't use that card anymore. I use a different setup. And now I'm using different video cables as well. I used to use RGB cables, but now I am not, because my RGB cables died. Well, it's a little more complicated than that, but point is, the RGB cables are no longer around, and so my setup has changed a little bit. And that's the problem. We are trying to get into Virtua Fighter 2. I'm just waiting for it to load. It looks like I got a memory full message. I'm not using the controller anymore, Leo. It's a piece of garbage. I'm not. There's no point in trying it in Genesis mode. It's not going to be any different. It's going to have all the same problems. Yeah, check this out. This is what I'm seeing right now. Anything high res on Saturn, it's just the frame racer's just crapping all over itself. I mean, at this point, either I'm just going to have to play 240p games through and through, or just, like, stop the stream and play a different console. So, I'm power cycling again. Oh, you didn't miss much, Society. It's been a rocky 2 hours. Yeah, and you know what? It's... I've noticed that the FrameMeister has been really weird with composite signals in high res. We tried playing 3DO with composite a few months back over on Twitch, and I could not get it to display. I had to do some like just jerry-rigging to get it to work, and it ended up cutting off like, you know, the tops and bottoms of the screen big time. So that's extremely disappointing, actually. Very disappointing. I'm trying to figure out games that I haven't really messed around with too much before. And I don't want to turn this into like just a straight up shmup stream. It's because of the composite. Like when I was using the RGB cables, I didn't have this problem. And I don't even think I had this problem with S-Video. I think it was just a composite thing. Now that we're forced to play in composite, it's screwing up my ability to capture a lot of these games. And that's a huge problem. I've got a big list of games here, but a lot of them that are just 240p are kind of like not great games. And I don't want to turn this into a not great game stream either. Man, I don't know where to start. Oh, I have an idea. Although I probably played this a lot on the channel. But this one I think is 240p the whole way through. And it's a phenomenal game, so yeah. Surprised the cats aren't in here. You gotta be kidding me! The full motion video just went into a loop. It's always something. Man. Alright, let's go to options. Mike says he bought this game again recently for the Xbox Series S. Very nice. Yeah, it's a 360 Xbox Live Arcade game, but it's backwards compatible on the Series consoles and Xbox One. So, anyone that doesn't have a Saturn wants to play this, that is a great way to play it. It's very good. So, I like how they call it dip switch. Those are switches you would flip on arcade boards. Alright, so Guardian Heroes is a beat 'em up, but you get experience points and you can level up your character. And, it's interesting. A lot of fun. It's also got so many different routes you can go through, and so you get a lot of different endings and different story progression and all that stuff. You got a bunch of different characters to play as. It looks like I don't have any save data on here right now, but there's another character I think you can get. We'll play as Han. He's kind of like, well, I wouldn't say easy mode, but he's just big and beefy, and he's very minimal on magic. So it's more just about like straight up attacks, physical hand-to-hand attacks. You can actually skip through the story pretty quickly. So we'll go ahead and do that. You hold like the trigger in and then you can just kind of skip through it. Alright, so in this first room you can run right out of it or you can stay and fight, and I recommend staying and fighting. But the interesting thing about this game is that it kind of plays like a fighting game. You have 3 different planes. You got far back, middle, and then close. Every character has a bunch of different moves, and I have to refigure out what those moves are. It's like 8 blocks. Forward and attack does this like heavy slash. Now you also can use magic. You press Z to bring up your magic menu. Han just has a fireball. It's a homing fireball. It's actually pretty good, and you can just keep mashing the Z button to use it until your magic points run out. Or you can actually use fighting game motions. So for the fireball for Han, it's quarter circle forward and punch. You do have a magic point meter. It's the blue meter underneath your health. Now it's purple because I don't have any magic points. But certain attacks will combo really fast, and it'll actually build your magic point meter back up. Now this chick in the background, she's actually helping us out. She's a story character. She'll kind of like become one with us eventually. Oops, I keep pressing the wrong buttons. I haven't played this in a while. Okay, down, down, and attack, or heavy attack in the air allows you to do that diagonal attack. It's very good. Whoops. So what I do is I just try to play this out until I get kicked out. Because you get experience points in this game, you know, you want as many as you can, and then the later parts of the game will be a little bit easier. Yeah, this is one of the games that sold me on a Saturn back in the day. Like, one of my best friends at the time got this game, and he had a Sega Saturn, and this and Galactic Attack sold me on it. I didn't even, like, I had to have a Sega Saturn after playing these games, and so Guardian Heroes has always been one of my favorite Saturn games because of that. It's one of my most played Saturn games. I like using my magic because it gives you experience points when you use magic. So you're incentivized to actually use your magic. So a lot of times I'll just kind of play cheap in the beginning, build my magic, and then constantly use my magic to build my experience farther. Yeah, down, down, and attack does different varying degrees of height for, like, the spin attack. And you can press down, down, and heavy to do this diagonal attack. It's very good. And then down and just punch. We'll do this like, it's down, down, and punch. We'll do this like poke attack. And you'll actually bounce off enemies' heads. It's very handy. Now, unfortunately, when you run out of magic, you kind of get winded, so you have to be careful about that. Looks like that shoulder slam might be pretty good. Well, let's see if... I don't think it's going to do anything. Okay, I was wondering if that fire attack actually did anything on, like, the Z-axis. Just mashing punch will do that combo, which also going to be pretty good. Yeah, you get level ups really easy in the beginning. Now, when your health runs out, you get a game over. So it's, even though you can level up and stuff like that, it's still arcade style. So there is definitely a big element of skill to it. You can't just level up and win. I think that's pretty much it. Panzer Dragoon might not be a bad one to play, Andy, because that game is, it's... I think it's fully low res. I don't think there's anything in the first Panzer Dragoon that's high res, so we might actually be able to play that. Leo asks, how do you like the Xbox Live Arcade port of this? You don't recall ever seeing me fire it up on Twitch. It's because I streamed it on YouTube, Leo, actually. I did a stream of it on YouTube years ago. I think it's great. It's a great way to play the game. So you can't actually beat this guy. After a certain point, basically a story beat happens. But you can die yourself, so you still want to be careful. Now, the significant thing about leveling up in this is that after the end of each level, any level ups that you obtained, you can apply those into stat boosts. Very, very important. Yeah, me too, Society. Society says, no wonder it looked like a Mischief Maker, or it looked like Mischief Makers. It's a treasure game, yeah. Yep, same people. Mike says, Panzer Dragoon 1, Daytona USA, and Virtua Fighter Remix sold them on the Saturn. Got yours 3 months after it launched. Oh, nice. So you were there super early. For me, I think it was 97 when I got my Saturn. I got mine, actually, the year after I got a Sega CD. So, I'm gonna actually, I don't know what I should do here. Obviously, Hana's a strength guy, so you probably want to, like, boost your strength and, like, vitality. But I also like boosting intelligence. The reason for that is my spells get much larger, and the fireballs become very, very useful. So we're gonna go with those two. The soundtrack in this game is just great, too. It's so good. They had a professional musician that mostly did, like, you know, album recordings and stuff like that do this, apparently. He wasn't like a... From what I understand, he wasn't like a video game composer, if you know what I mean. I think that's the story behind the musician for this game. Alright, so now we have the Gold Knight. And he is insanely useful, and you can actually command him by pressing X. You can have him go like full-on berserk. I like him to kind of defend, because then I can get most of the experience points. So I can level up better. Alright, let me actually... Yeah, you can see my fireballs are a little bit bigger than they were before. The reason I like to try to cheese stuff in the beginning is because I want as many experience points as I can so I can be at a higher level as I get farther into the game. Because the game gets really hard. It's not a cakewalk. They did, Scruff. This was re-released on Xbox 360, and it's backwards compatible on Xbox One and the Xbox Series consoles. It's currently available. It's just not available on everything. But yeah, I would definitely like to see this available on everything, because it's an amazing game. It needs more people to try it out. Because even though it came out on Xbox, not everybody has an Xbox. And a lot of people, I think, have forgotten it's even available there. Sanctum says this was his first Saturn game. Nice. Atrocity says he didn't even know the Saturn existed until it was already dead. Yeah, that sucks. Yeah, I got lucky by having one friend, like my best friend bought one. And that's how I discovered it. I mean, I knew it was out. I never really saw it available to play. I didn't know anybody that was interested in it. Everybody was talking PlayStation. And if it wasn't for games like this, I probably wouldn't have been interested in it. So again, I'm just having the knight do nothing, so I can just kind of get all the experience points for myself. Jeez. Should probably block more often. Oops. Oh, no problem, DG. Have a good night. Sleep well. Thanks for popping in for a little bit. Andy says Panzer Dragoon in the hunt and Galactic attack is why he bought his Saturn. Nice. Let's go with well, you know what? I mean, Han, it probably makes sense to boost his strength. He's a beefy dude. Let's put him back to defend. Alright, looks like I can also mash to regain my my strength. Okay, I thought I put you to defend. Stay there. Okay. Yeah, the Gold Knight can take as much damage as you want. Like, he's basically invincible. And so one way to make this game easier is to keep him in Berserk mode at all times. I love the flexibility of this game. Like, you don't have to play a very specific way. So much replay value. I keep doing this attack because it gives me magic points back. Society says he didn't even know anyone that had a Saturn. Yeah, I think that was typical for a lot of people. It only sold 2 million units in the United States, so it wasn't exactly a success. I mean, it was a greater success than something like the Jaguar or 3DO in North America, but it was still, like... it was not good. So by not using the Gold Knight, I do make my life a little bit harder. But again, it's... in the early parts of the game, I think it's worth it. Because you need those experience points. Alright, let's jump down. I gotta use the block button more often. That's something I've always been really bad about in this game. It's not blocking. Yeah, exactly, Atrocity. So again, you can press the X button and bring up a menu and have them go into different, you know, stances. So like, we'll put him in the Berserk mode. And trust me, he goes ballistic. Now he's going, oh, here it is. Easy mode activated. Let's let him calm down a little bit. Oops. Oh man, I feel like I suck at this game. It's been so long since I last played it. Probably, I bet the last time I played it was about 6 months ago. Alright, definitely not leveling up as fast as I was earlier. Pretty sure you get experience points even for breaking boxes and stuff like that. All right. Okay, that's not good. Let's... I'm gonna die. I know it. Oh, yep, I'm dead. Looks like I have 9 continues. We'll just continue. That's disappointing. I don't like continuing. I want to get as far as I can without continuing. Let's just have him... try to be in, like, regular mode. Yeah, he's going crazy now. Block. Okay. Blocking actually is really good in this game. So you definitely want to use it. Whoops. I didn't think he was on the same plane as me. Alright. Society says he's digging the OST. Yeah, it's good. It's honestly, in my opinion, it's one of the best from this time period. It's so good. So much memorable music. This is like one of the bosses in Gunstar Heroes, I think. Another treasure game. He keeps cutting through the Gold Knight and hitting me. There we go. Yeah, so now you get choices. We can close in on cannon, or we can retreat and go to the village. We'll try close in on cannon. There's a lot of different routes you can take. Oh crap, I'm dead. No, I'm not. Ugh. Hey, Crestline, welcome back. Man, that's rough. Try to boost my my magic again. Make for some bigger fireballs. Yeah, you really need to be using the different planes to your advantage, otherwise you just get ganged up on. He's just juggling him. You really rely on this dive bomb attack. Oh, that smaller Gold Knight can actually do some lightning attacks. I didn't realize that. Jeez, man. I just keep getting ganged up on. I can't do anything. I'm trying to put the Gold Knight into his berserk mode, but there's just too much going on. And the thing is, when you try to switch him, like you're stuck in place. You can't do anything. And I'm dead. Another game over. We'll do one more continue. I don't like credit feeding through these games. I have 1cc'd this before, but you know, it was a very specific route. It's probably the easiest route in the game, I'm guessing, or one of the easier ones. It also helps to know what you're doing. I haven't played this game in a while, so I haven't even warmed back up to it yet. Alright, so if you see these signs, you can actually go towards them. You'll go to arenas a lot of the time. I don't know if it's going to actually work. Yeah, it works. Awesome. Cafe Man says he played this a lot, but he never felt he was really good at it. It was difficult to him, yeah. It is a hard game. So these arenas, you can just play infinitely to try to level up as much as you can. That's one of the strategies, but a lot of these guys are really tough. Come on, dude, get up. It's a good way to practice your moves, too. Yeah, I'm not doing much damage to these guys. Yeah. Yeah, when you get it cornered, it's just like it's over. I guess that's part of the point, is don't get cornered. Alright, it looks like the blue guy's almost dead. Oops. God, I keep pressing the wrong buttons too, because I haven't played this in so long. There's so much functionality in this game. It takes a while to warm back up to it. Got him. Ah. God damn it, dude. Alright, one more. Hey, Tony. What's going on? Welcome back. And these guys are so aggressive. They're just on your ass the entire time. Jeez. Yeah, so you can keep going. You can do this all day long, as long as you've got the credits.
Ready, go.
Again, I'm doing the same thing as earlier. I'm constantly using my fireballs just so I can level up. Not really because it's an offensive strategy. I mean, I'm doing a little bit of damage. Oh, and that aura is actually giving him his health back. Wow, that's fantastic. Shoulder slam seems pretty good. I mean, one of these guys at once really doesn't seem too bad. I watched him throw like 3 of them at me. I need to see how much that's actually doing. That wasn't much. Hey, Cafe Man. Cafe Man loves Saturn streams. Well, thank you. I'm glad you love Saturn streams. One of the few. One of the proud. I want to keep going. Oh, nice. Again, I'll take that. There are some other arenas you can get to where the enemies are like ridiculously high leveled. Kind of sucks how he can interrupt that combo. Okay, it almost looks like I do 30 damage if I get a nice clean hit with that dive attack. Looks like my heavy attack is also still pretty good for getting magic back. Victory! Let's do it again. I do kind of want a harder one. Okay, maybe, maybe I don't want this. Yeah, jeez. I'm biting off more than I can chew right now. Jesus, dude. And these are like higher level versions too. Oh my god, I couldn't do anything. I seriously couldn't do anything on Wake Up. It was in an infinite. I couldn't block or anything. Yeah, it's like you have to really know what you're doing here. Like, holy crap. Oh, so this is kind of designed with multiple players in mind, I'm sure. Like, my friend and I back in the day, we would play 2-player all the time, and we would still struggle at these fights. Do the arena battles go on indefinitely? As long as you have continues, yes. So you can basically use these to get experience points and level up. Yeah, and the higher level that these enemies are, the more aggressive they are, the more they block, basically the harder they are to actually defeat. Yeah, and Han, unfortunately, he doesn't have a heal spell or anything like that. So if you're playing as just Han, I mean, I said earlier it's kind of like easy mode, but I mean, I guess it depends on the situation. It is nice that every time I level up, I do get a little bit of health back. Just a tiny bit. Oh, they interrupted my combos again. Jeez. And I'm dead. I just want to see how many experience points I got, or how many levels I got. Hey, Zero. Yeah, the music's really good. Nice thing about that magician is he's pretty much used up all of his magic. So the enemies are, like, relegated to some of the same limitations that you are. So it's not like they can just keep using magic all day long. So it is fair in that regard. There we go. Jeez, what a pain in the ass. Alright, see ya, Andy. Have a good night. Alright, one more time. Oh god, not again. It is hard to see what's going on, too, sometimes. Oh my god, they keep teleporting in and just doing the ice magic right away. No, I'm cornered again. Okay. Dead again. I only have 4 continues left. Yeah, no, it's impossible to just focus on one guy. Seriously. It's just too much going on. I might have a better chance with some of the heavier magic users. I'm stun locked again. I can't do anything. I'm just holding block. Holy crap. That's just so mean. God damn. This was a mistake. I mean, I think the whole point is they don't want you fighting all day long, and this is a way for them to, like, kick you out. I think that's all this is, now that I think about it. And in hindsight, you know, that makes sense. They don't want you playing these arenas all day long, and I get it. I mean, maybe that's the strategy. I'm airborne, so it's like I can't block or anything. I mean, you can block in the air, I'm pretty sure, but not if you're taking a hit already. Dude, this is... I can't do crap. It's frustrating. Yay, one is dead, finally. And there goes another one. Alright, I'm not doing any more of these because I'm just there's no point. We should probably have some good stat boost after this, but you know, we had burned a bunch of continues getting them. Whew, that was awful. No, that's enough. That's terrible. Oh, man. Oh, and I'm not even gonna be able to get to use my points until I beat the whole level. I didn't even think about that. It's okay, the game's a lot easier now. Those arenas are, like, notoriously difficult. And honestly, I got a little cocky because it kept giving me, like, that one wizard. And I was like, oh, that's easy, I can deal with that. And then it threw 3 enemies at once and I just got annihilated. And they were all higher level, too. Look at this, I got 650 magic points though. So, that's nice. Yeah, my magic's a little bit better out here, Society. It's like, it just did 40 damage on that one guy. So it's pretty solid now. But yeah, with those higher level characters, the magic doesn't seem to do nearly as much. Although Han here, he's not really like a heavy magic user. I like to boost the fireballs because I still use them a lot. And when I use magic, it's basically free experience points. Like, you get experience just for using magic. What's up, Timu? Timu doesn't actually mean that. Timu's got a very particular sense of humor. Well, welcome back, man. Hope you're doing well today.
Right.
Oh, we're already at this part. Wow. Yeah, this happens on basically like every route you take, I think. You're generally getting kind of close to the end when you see this, I think. There's a lot of story in this game. It's actually not bad. I actually enjoy it quite a bit. Helps that the music really accompanies it very well. Right. Okay. There's a bunch of different final bosses and stuff like that. Sure. Hey, Brandon! You were playing Saturn last night? Hell yeah. What were you playing last night, Brandon? Okay, seriously, dude. I hate that lightning attack. I can't do anything. And I've got basically, like, no health. Just let the AI do my fighting for me. Oh. Alright, this is our last continue. We have no more continues after this. Albert Odyssey and Mega Man 8. Oh, nice. Good luck with Mega Man 8. That game's a pain in the ass. Yeah, for anybody that doesn't know, Michael Mackard out there, that's my brother. I gave him a Sega Saturn about 6 months ago. And he's been really enjoying it. I don't even want to touch this guy. He's just... Well, I guess I could try to do stuff like this. Let's see. Dude, I don't want to get a game over. I want to see how many level ups I have. Honestly. Someone time out Timu. Timu's being sarcastic. Timu just doesn't know when to use proper emotes to convey that. So he fools people like you, Gotcham. Come on, Gold Knight, do your thing. Go crazy. I don't want to get close because this guy will pretty much kill me instantly. His magic is so powerful. Yeah. Hey, that lightning goes all up and down. It's not just left and right. That's like the only thing I can do. Just the punch combo or the downward fire attack. Oh, man. $24 points. No, thanks for the GGs, guys. I don't think I deserve it, though. I mean, I've wiped out all 9 continues. There's no way to earn more. So there's a bunch of ways you can go. Fight the Earth Spirits, you kind of go to a hellish area. Disobey the Sky Spirits, I think you fight angels. Protect the kingdom first. I don't know, I don't remember what happens. There's just so many different ways you can go in this game. We'll disobey. I'm just getting juggled, even when I'm blocking. You see my fireballs are really big now, though. That's one thing I love about this game, is magic actually gets visibly larger. I'm so dead. This is insane. This is freaking insane. I wonder, I'm starting to wonder if the enemies, like, scale with you. Like, as you get leveled up, so do they. I never really thought about that. Oh, I'm dead. That's game over. Oh, jeez, man. That was way harder than I remember. I wonder what my old route was, because I've gotten the 1 credit clear multiple times on this on a very particular route with just Han. But man, from what I understand, some of the other characters might be a little bit easier to, well, I don't want to say easier to play with, but some of the magic users, for instance, apparently are like almost overpowered in this. It's brutal. Yeah, we've been going for 3.5 hours. I'm not even sure if I want to keep streaming anymore. Like, that brawler controller and all the technical difficulties kind of brought me down. I don't know if I really want to keep going. Oh, it's Society asked that. Do enemies scale with your level in this game? I have no idea. I'm almost starting to think they might, based on just the chaos there at the very end. Oh, man. Yeah, we didn't even see that guy. Yeah, there's a ton of replay value, though, because you have so many different paths you can take. It changes the story, and it changes the bosses you fight. I loved it when Saturn and PlayStation games had anime intros like this, like high-quality ones. Like, this was really good stuff back then. It still is good. Yeah, there's a lot of effort put into these video sequences. Society said he saw enough to know it's a great game. Yeah. It is pretty great. Potbelly Punch says, I had a lot of problems with that Brawler controller too years ago. Emailed them, said they would send another one and never did. Oh man, man, oh man, oh man. Sorry to hear that. Man, yeah, I kind of raged at that controller earlier in the stream. I don't know, I felt I just wasted $28. It's $28 I could have kept. It was not good. Unfortunately, we have no kitties. No kitties. They've been ignoring me today. Was it doing random inputs and stuff? No, it wasn't doing random inputs, but it was not accurate on the D-pad. Like, I was doing a lot of accidental diagonals, or when I wanted to do diagonals, it would just do up instead, and it was very, very frustrating. Yeah, very frustrating. And then the analog stick wasn't actually an analog stick. It doesn't actually support analog controls. So what's the point of the analog stick? It's just a stupid controller. Don't waste your money. Well, I mean, you know what's funny, Uber? The handles aren't really a big deal. I didn't find that to be an issue. It was actually comfortable to hold. I will give it that. Now, the trigger placement was awful. It's way too close to the top front of the controller. And so, like, you have to actually, like, contort your fingers to press them. It's not comfortable at all. I mean, using triggers are not comfortable. But the face buttons and the feel of the D-pad were fine. I didn't have any issues with the handles. But the fact that the D-pad was inconsistent was a huge problem, and the fact that the analog stick isn't an actual analog stick, or at least it doesn't offer analog functionality in Saturn games that use analog controls. So that's just a whole big waste of space on the controller. My thumb was constantly hitting the analog stick too, because it's so close to the D-pad. It's just it was a really questionable design. Very questionable. Yeah, Uber, you didn't hear that part earlier? Yeah, it's not an actual analog stick, or at least if it is, it's not designed to work with Saturn's analog games. It just mimics the D-pad. That's it. So, and they even say it on their website. It's nowhere to be found on the box. Nowhere to be found on the box. Nowhere to be found on the box, but it's on their website. It's just, ugh. Yeah, exactly, Uber. That was the big draw to me. It's like, I don't have a 3D control pad anymore. I would like to have a controller that works with analog games. But it doesn't. It's just, oh man. Yeah. You know, guys, I think I'm kind of done. It's just been one of those streams. Yeah, I think I'm going to get out of here. I think what I'm going to do is actually get up off my ass, go for a bike ride around the neighborhood. Again, I did one earlier today, but I'm going to do it again. And then maybe loop around to like 7-Eleven, grab some cheap, junky dinner. And then I think I'll maybe go live on Twitch. I'm not sure what I'll play. Maybe I'll play like Elden Ring or something. Continue that. Or play some Beat Mania. But yeah, this stream was kind of like not what I hoped it would be. I was hoping to play a lot of Sega Saturn. But because my RGB cable died and I don't have an S-Video cable anymore, and apparently I have to use my composite cable, which my FrameMeister hates for some reason with high-res stuff. So there's just been a lot of technical problems, and obviously the Brawler controller wasn't great. Too many technical issues. Sonic 3D Blast just crashed on us halfway through. I think I'm just kind of done. I feel like getting some exercise and getting some food in my stomach will be the better route to take right now. Office says 7-Eleven calls for Slurpee. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think they have any Slurpees that are like sugar-free right now. I don't know. I'll have to take a look, actually. That actually doesn't sound like a bad idea. Hey, Jeff is still there. Had no idea. He's out himself. Take care. Thanks for the stream, Austin. You're welcome, Jeff. Thanks for hanging out, dude. I will forgive you for disliking the Dreamcast D-pad. We all can't be perfect. But no, seriously, thanks for hanging out, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, they're pretty good with these towers, Society. They use them, they scratch them a little bit, but not a ton, you know, so they last a decent while, which is good. A little disappointed there are no cats here. So, well, since I'm out of here, I might as well just do the patron slideshow instead, since there are no kitties. Alright. Yeah, cursed day for sure, Office. I agree. Ugh. Yeah, thanks to the people that did some super chats today. I appreciate it. I'll have this archive up probably tomorrow or the next day. Watch out for another quick play on Friday. Or if you have access to my Discord, you can get a bunch of others early. Super early. And, yeah. I don't really have anything else to say. What a stream. That's what I get for doing an impromptu variety stream. Damn it. Ugh. Maybe I should have just done NES. That would have gone smoothly. No technical difficulties there. Oh well. I guess not all streams can be great. Oh, whatever. Alrighty, guys, take it easy. Have yourselves a good day or good night, wherever you are in the world, and hopefully I'll catch you soon. Take care, everyone.